It is Handy Andy, and we got an unboxing video for you today. This is from a product from Dewalt. It's part of the FLEXVOLT series. It's a battery-powered track saw. You can see over here, I got the actual track saw, but I got the track saw kit right here. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside this baby. I've always wanted a track saw, but I never thought I would get a battery-powered one. Because, you know, if you're cutting a lot of plywood, you know, you can do it with the table saw, but if you're doing like 3/4 inch plywood, it's actually quite hard because you got to take into the blade consideration, and it just gets really hard. If you had a nice track saw, look, I even got this 100-foot track, 102 inches, 102 inches track, but this is going to make it really easy to cut plywood because I like to make tables and such from nice high quality like birch plywood, and this is what I need, is a nice track saw to do that without having to worry about the cuts on a table saw, because I actually have a FLEXVOLT table saw and it's awesome, but for 3/4 inch plywood especially, you're gonna, like, you don't want anything to move. It's hard. So this is like a dream come true for somebody who loves technology and loves tools. So it's just such a nice quality T-stack case. That's what they call them. And so let's open this up. Just gonna show you how it looks inside. So pretty much everything you need. You got the track saw and the battery charger. So it all starts with this FLEXVOLT battery. This is a 60-volt battery. It can go down to 20 volts depending on the tool that you're using, but 60 volts. You know, I have the miter saw, the Dewalt miter saw, and it takes 2 of these. So it's very interesting that this track saw only takes 1, like the table saw. But the thing about it, and you know, if you're going to get on the ecosystem, once you have, like, say 2 of these, you can buy these bare tools without the batteries and save a lot of money. So I'm just going to quickly take out we'll have to take the charger out. Oh, it's got a nice styrofoam under backing here, so you know where everything is supposed to go. So that's the charger, and here is the bad boy itself, the track saw. So of course, if you're not familiar with track saws, they call them track saws because they go on a track. You get it nice and leveled and straight on a piece of plywood, and then you can just slide this through. I've looked at different reviews about the mechanisms of how this goes down. People who have used previous track saws say it's kind of hard to get used to. I've never used a track saw, so this will be the first time. So whatever which way you have to do it, I'm sure I'm going to get really good at it. Now, I do also want to look at this track. So what I'm going to do is try to put everything back so we can open up the track. I really do need to get a smaller one. You know, 102 inches. That's big. That's to do an entire, like, full sheet of plywood, like from the 8-foot cuts. But sometimes you want to have a smaller one, and I'm gonna have to figure out how I can do that. Probably have to buy a smaller track. You know, apparently you can attach 2 smaller tracks to make one, but from the reviews that I've saw online, a lot of people, you know, they said it's better to just get the 102 inch one, because then you don't have any kind of wiggle or anything to worry about. Because when you're making cuts with plywood, especially if you're using like high quality plywood, you don't want to mess your cuts up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down. I'm going to bring this track up. I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to store this as well in my shed right there in the back. Now, it is all comes with staples with this, so luckily. The thing about this track is apparently it's reversible, so you can go both ways. I think. Looks like it only goes this way. Or maybe what they mean is you can go back and forth. But I'm just going to put it down on this little gimpy table, and, you know, it sticks pretty good. Again, I've never used a track saw. I've known they exist, and I know that it's a great solution, especially if you're going to be cutting plywood. But this is amazing. I think what I'm going to have to do is get a smaller one, because if you're going to, say, cut like the 4-foot side, you're not going to want to do this. Let me adjust it. I'm going to have to learn how this all works. But that's the general premise of this, and then I believe it drops down. It's got some type of motion. Definitely going to be reading this to make sure I know how to operate this. And you know, sometimes there is wiggle room, but they have these little slots here that allow you to adjust it to make sure it's tight on the track. So you're going to need a little tiny multi-tool thing to do that. You won't be able to do it by hand from the various reviews that I saw, but think about this. This is battery power. I'll even put the battery in to show you. So there's the FLEXVOLT battery. Take this thing off. You want to keep this, by the way, this little red thing, because when you transport your tool, you want to make sure that it's been protected. Well, the battery's protected because it is a lithium-ion battery. Even has a warning on the box to let people know that there's a lithium-ion battery, because these things can explode. Sometimes I've always had trouble taking this thing off. You got to press this button, but I do have this sticker here, so let me see if I can get this off. I'm going to cut it off, do something drastic. There we go. So I got that off. Now I should be able to press that. It takes off, and this thing's really in. It doesn't want to go anywhere. But I'm just going to put it sideways like this, and you can see where this goes. This makes, like, it's super portable. As long as you can carry this track, say on your pickup truck, and you have your track saw in your kit, you can just take some plywood and do it anywhere, basically. So it goes in like so. There we go. Just like that. And you're going to be just making some nice, smooth, even cuts. Apparently you could also, I might as well show you, you can do like even 45 cuts. It goes up to 47 degrees, so it gives you a little bit of a play. However, I don't know if it locks in or not, so you probably want to make sure. I'm going to have to try that out on some old plywood so I don't screw things up. But again, this is a battery-powered track, so I can't believe what a time to be alive. And it's all because of this, the FLEXVOLT battery from Dewalt. So if you're a tech enthusiast, if you're a little bit of a handyman, or you want to become one, this is the time, because now you got all these cordless tools, and it all runs on these batteries. So you could buy the FLEXVOLT series of tools and just have 2 of these batteries, because their miter saw, which I also have in the back over there, it takes 2 of these, whereas the other tools just take 1. So you only need a maximum of 2 of them to be up and running. But if you have more, it's great, especially if you're doing a lot of work, because you can have some charged and some on standby when you're kind of ready and working, and just do a little swapperoo during your job site. So trying to get some tools, you're going to want to at least consider Dewalt and their FLEXVOLT line. Milwaukee and some other guys, they all make them as well. But if you're interested in this, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because we're going to put this through some tests to see how it functions, if it can make some good cuts, if it's better than a table saw. All these questions are going to be answered right here on this channel. My name is Handy Andy, and we will see you again next time.